Today we are talking about one of the most famous sports watches, definitely one of the most sought after. This is the Omega Snoopy. We're going to talk about the history of Snoopy and NASA, the watches Omega has made over the years, and then we're taking a closer look at the 50th anniversary edition we have here today.
In 1968, NASA created the Silver Snoopy Award. They actually got a lot of inspiration from Smokey the Bear for being the safety for the woods. Now they needed safety for space. Charles Schultz was actually on board and allowed them to use Snoopy. He actually loved the NASA program.
And helped design the first pin. Yeah. So they wanted something fun to represent safety, and that's what Snoopy became. And you have to remember that Peanuts was the biggest comic deal in the country at the time. Everyone was obsessed with Snoopy, so it was a really big deal. It was kind of funny, the Snoopy character, I don't know if you remember reading him as a kid, but he was more imaginative and super independent, and I think that kind of plays into the NASA program well.
Yep.
So the Silver Snoopy Award became an award for safety for those assisting the NASA program, and only 1% of those people who support NASA ever receive it. So it's a really big deal. It's very coveted.
Right.
Omega's story started, they won it for the Apollo 13 mission, which if you're familiar with Apollo 13, everything went wrong. The timing of the Speedmaster helped them land safely. There's lots of videos about that. We could probably make a whole video about Apollo 13. We're not going to do that today. You can do your own research. But that's kind of the history behind when Omega won the award.
So the 50th anniversary Snoopy is actually the third iteration of the Snoopy. The first one coming in 2003. That one, they released the Snoopy at 9 o'clock, just like all the later models as well. That one was actually limited to 5,441 pieces because the mission lasted 142 hours, 54 minutes, and 41 seconds. So they actually took it from the minutes and seconds there. They later released in 2015 the most limited version of the Snoopy, only making 1,970 pieces because in 1970 is when they first awarded the Silver Snoopy Award for the Apollo 13 mission. And they actually put the silver medallion on the back of that watch as well. That one being a white dial similar to this one.
And that brings us to today. The 50th anniversary was launched in 2020. It's technically not a limited edition, but it's very limited in its pace, which makes it hard to get. But there's a ton to talk about. So let's jump into it. It's the classic Speedmaster size, right? The 42 millimeter stainless steel. We get a lot more blue in this design, which is fun. But kind of a silver white dial. It looks a little bit more white.
They actually call it silver.
Right.
So kind of a nod back to the Silver Snoopy. They actually call it a very light silver on this one. So
there's so many details to talk about with this watch. As Ryan pointed out, they always keep the Snoopy at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Right? So we've got Snoopy there in his little helmet, and that goes back to the original design of the pin.
And if you're a Speedmaster lover, you probably noticed that they did the dot over 90, which actually is a throwback to the original 3-2-1 movement. All the Snoopy models actually have the dot over 90, which is kind of a cool thing.
A lot of people care about that.
Yes, they do.
Let's talk about the blue nylon strap. This was also custom to the watch. Really comfortable once you break it in after a couple days. It has a leather backing, and then actually embossed on the leather in the back is the flight path of Apollo 13.
That's so cool.
Yeah, all the details are amazing. But I have to say, you can buy the metal strap for this watch separately.
That's true.
And I saw one at Watch Week Aspen a couple weeks ago, and it looks fantastic.
Oh, I'm sure.
I would recommend that. If you're going to get it, also buy the bracelet.
Yeah. So speaking of the back of the watch, probably the most interesting thing about the 50th anniversary is going to be the caseback. And they have a photorealistic moon. The Earth back there is actually attached to your seconds hand, so it actually spins every 60 seconds, which is really cool to see the Earth
And I read that the vision of the moon is from the far side of the moon, and that's how you would be looking at Earth.
Looking at Earth, which is pretty freaking cool. And when you hit the chronograph on this guy, if you wait 14 seconds, Snoopy will come out on a little animated capsule flying around the moon, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, Snoopy is riding in a command service module, which is what they were riding in. Exactly. So cool. And they have they call it a magic hand on what is coming on. You can kind of see it, and they don't really share what that technology is, but it's pretty amazing to see little Snoopy come and fly by.
I would say from certain angles, though, you can't really see it because it's kind of an invisible hand, which is really, really cool.
And then you have Eyes on the Stars written across the night sky there, very much a tie to NASA and their mission, and then an engraving of Apollo 13 and the date.
So who's this for? This is for the guy that loves Speedmaster, loves NASA, maybe even loves the Peanuts.
Wants to spend for it.
Right.
And it's no secret that this watch is hard to get. Yes. So it's not limited, but it's very limited in its release. And you will have to have a relationship with an Omega boutique or Omega dealer to receive it. It's so sought after that they want to make sure it's going to a safe home, that it's not getting flipped right away.
Right.
And it's something you're truly going to enjoy. And you have to remember, this is truly a collector's piece. If everyone could have it, I don't know if everyone would want it. I have actually heard that this watch is high on your grail list.
It is, and it's mainly for that caseback. I love it. I know it's so like, it's not cheesy, but it's one of those things where it's, you know, it's this little animated thing that happens on the back of the watch, but that's also why I love the 60th Bond as well.
Yeah.
It's these little tiny things that you get, and it's like, it's so much fun.
What a great use of technology.
Right?
For me, it's all the little details. I love the Snoopy on the front. I love the box, how special edition that is. It's like you can just keep looking at the watch and you keep seeing new things. Let us know in the comments what is your favorite part of this watch, and then let us know what else you want to hear about Omega and NASA's relationship.
Yes.
We could go into so much more about the moon landing and Apollo 13 and everything that happened behind the scenes. And if you want to shop Omega, we have an Omega boutique in Aspen, Colorado. You can also head to our website, oliversmithjeweler.com. We would love to work with you on acquiring your next Omega piece.